we're back. We're back live at Chickie's and Pete's restaurants here in in South Philly. I'm here with Chico Resch. I'm your host, Sam Wu. Oh, the podcast is titled Chico at Chickie's, presented by Molnar Roofing. Molnar Roofing. Anything slate roofs, anything, they will fix it for you. Chico, how are the crab fries? I saw you just picking at it before.
Addictive. You don't want to start unless there's only about 5 left, but we got 2 big baskets here.
Got enough.
I'm just happy we went on the show because otherwise I'd still be firing them in my mouth. But we got more important things to talk about, right, Sammy?
Oh, absolutely. And beaming him in from the mobile studio powered by Menlo Technology, we have Durango Steve, who's sponsoring our food and everything today.
Nice.
Yeah, he's over there. He's I don't know, he's got his thunder sticks or whatever. I don't know if you can hear him at all. It's kind of loud in here. Can you hear him at all?
No.
Oh, you can't?
Hey, Chico, can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go. Now I can.
There we go.
Yep. Okay, bud.
I got such a loud voice. I just stick my head out the door. You'll hear me in Philadelphia.
That's true.
Oh, that's better.
Much better? There you go.
So, let me tell you what happened with Durango Steve. He was supposed to be here today.
Oh.
Big Devils fan, big Chico fan.
Huge
what happened was he had sold
a series of
surgery.
unfortunate events.
Yeah.
All good sports injuries, though. You were doing something constructive when you heard it, right?
He's playing hockey.
Oh, okay.
Roofing.
All right, that sounds good.
Yeah, so
And then
what happened was he had surgery, and then 3 days later, he tried to avoid falling and try to protect his shoulder, and then he broke his ankle 3 days later. So right now, he's in the home studio,
On the IR.
So I felt bad, so I figured I'd include him, in the podcast.
Hey, Durango.
Hey, buddy, it's great to see you. Thank you so much, Sam. You guys are coming in loud and clear. I can't believe this technology. I mean, Sam showed up at my house, and within 5 minutes, I had a mobile command studio here, and here I am broadcasting to the world. This is really cool technology.
So you had one question for Chico. You were dying to
I have
ask
many.
before we begin.
I have very many, not just one. But we'll start off with one. Everybody's always loves the Chico Eats segment, and I really wondered what it was like when you were growing up as a kid in Moose Jaw. Normally, Monday through Friday, what did you guys have for dinner? What was special on the weekends? And what did you have for, holidays?
Well, back then, everything was kind of routine. The moms were stay-at-home moms, and they had wash day. Every meal was, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was pretty much the same. But Friday, we got fish and chips. I remember that because that was just a special night, and we had a Chinese confectionery store. And the grease would just seep through the bag. I'd be carrying it home, and I couldn't wait to get that grease inside me. So that was a big treat. And then Dad worked as a meat cutter. He worked at a packing house, so we got a lot of cold cuts, hamburger, steaks. I mean, we were a meat family. We had a lot of good meals. And so from the food department, I had a very good life. And and
how about
to love food.
How about the big holidays? What was the big treat, the big special meal?
Well, we didn't have Thanksgiving like they did here, but we would have, you'd have turkey on Thanksgiving, and Christmas was more like ham, and always, though, meat and potatoes. Remember, I don't even know if they use that anymore. Hey, the meat and potatoes of this situation is that was sort of saying the foundation of whatever, meat and potatoes. And so we had a lot of meat and potatoes, and we were never hungry. And then, of course, ice cream was my favorite dessert, still is.
Who doesn't love ice cream?
A tub of it.
Yeah.
Me
nothing
too.
Beats ice cream.
Me too.
No.
Yep.
And nothing beats winning, but the Devils aren't doing that right now, Chico. But
fought 9 straight, Sam.
Is it 9 straight? I lost count at 6.
Yeah.
No, and when I played in 83-84, it was the second year of the Devils, we lost 10 straight. And that's what they will tie today if they don't win. That was a really tough stretch. I remember it well. But that year, we weren't very good, just like, well, this team is growing. Then this team right now, Sam, has had 38 different players in the lineup, at least for a game.
Wow.
That year, we had 37. There's some similarities. We were the lowest scoring team that year, 83-84, second year of the Devils. They're near the bottom in terms of goal scoring, too. So I'm torn. I don't want them to join us in that record of the 10 most, biggest losses. But, I don't know. They just, Lindy Ruff was saying this morning when we Zoomed him that one of the problems is the Devils haven't had the lead at all. It's been like 8 games since they had a lead. And if you don't get a lead in the National Hockey League, it's tough to come back. And the Devils do come back, but they're usually down 2 or 3, so they can't overcome that much. So there's some glitches here, but again, Mackenzie Blackwood's going to play today. That should give them a good chance. I just want them to get a few wins so they can go home this summer, Moose Jaw or Minnesota, wherever it is, and just feel good about how the season ended. You don't want to go out like with that year that we lost 10 straight, which the Devils could match today, we also finished the season on an 8-game losing streak. But here was the deal then, you guys. Whoever was going to finish dead last was guaranteed to get Mario Lemieux. It was the Mario Lemieux sweepstakes. And we finished 3 points ahead of Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh started tanking. They traded players. They brought up minor league goalies. And we were in the bottom for a long time, but they eventually, that last week, we beat them once, and then we won another game, and then we finished ahead of them, and they got Mario, and, the rest is history.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, 3 versus 2, Mario had 2 cups. The Scott Stevens era brought in 3 during that,
But why couldn't we have 5?
Yeah,
why couldn't the Mario
there you go.
brought in 3 or 4 more? And I tell you, Sam, no offense, but for me, I was really counting on Mario. He was going to lift our – remember, we were the lowest scoring team in the league. And Mario, he was magical in junior. There was no question. He was the Connor McDavid class back then. And it worked out for the Devils. And you know what? I'd probably say Pittsburgh. Because Pittsburgh was like the fans weren't coming. The building wasn't being kept up. It was gloomy and doomy there. But so he saved the franchise. So it worked out well.
Yeah, it definitely did work out well. I guess for everybody. But, when your time in New Jersey, I read somewhere that when you got traded to Philadelphia, you spent some time in Philadelphia. You didn't really want to go, did you?
Well, the Flyers were such rivals, and we had a bit of a brawl this Saturday, my last game with the Devils, and Rick Tocchet, who's now the coach of Arizona, he jumped me because I shot his stick away, and it was kind of a mess. And then so I'm driving here, and, I'm 37 and a half. I'm thinking, do I really want to go down there? So I thought about it, and then I thought, well, let's see what happens. And then I went down, and like so often, the guys in the room were great. We had a really good team. Next year, we went to the Stanley Cup 7th game finals against the Oilers and lost. And, I had a great relationship with Ronnie Hextall. I was really his backup mentor. So it was a great way to finish a career. I wasn't delusional. I knew it was over. I was there as a support person. I'm not trying to fight to get ice time. And it was good. Mike Keenan was there. If you play for Mike Keenan, you got an experience a lot of players don't have. I like Mike, but it was different. And Philly is one of the greatest hockey towns in America. When they won in 72 and 73, 2 million people came to their parade. The Eagles, the Phillies, they hadn't won for so long, and it solidified this franchise as an incredible hockey town. And it's just not Philly, it's New Jersey, South Jersey. They're big Flyer fans. So, it was really, it's a nice memory for me to think that I was part of the Flyers, even though I didn't play much, but just to say I was part of that franchise.
Well, you were on the ice with that brawl up in Montreal, I believe.
Yes.
I can't quite remember that, Sam. Maybe I got a selective memory. I don't know. Yeah, that was the end of all bench clearing brawls.
Yeah.
I remember the police wouldn't go on. you know, somebody said, "Hey, police, you go out there," and they said no, and then the referees, we're not going on, and the security wouldn't go on. I mean, it was like chaos, and so they finally decided, hey, we got to make some rules here so this doesn't happen.
I heard that the defenseman at the time, Doug Crossman, came out in his flip-flops.
Well, they were actually flip-flops inside Lang's skates. Lang had these inserts. It wasn't like a regular skate. I don't know what Dougie was thinking of. Like, I mean, you talk about getting your toes nipped, but it was just the whole thing was unpredictable. Nobody really knew what was going to take place, and then that's why he came out. And it was even like I always say, even Don Cherry, who loved the rough stuff and that kind of macho parts of the game, he even criticized us. So I realized must have been bad. It must have been bad.
Well, you only got a couple minutes here, but
it's okay.
Tonight's
did he get
game,
fined? Did he get fined for that or suspended, Chico?
No, nobody got. No, you didn't get fined.
Wow.
Nobody was injured.
Different times.
No. Yeah, you're right. Oh, so right. Durango, there would have been like $100,000 fine for teams. I don't even think the team got fined. No, I mean, that's what hockey was. It was kind of police it yourself, and
yep.
it was a physical series and all that. I mean, I miss some of it, but I get with the political correctness and everything's got to be scrubbed up, and you can't cross-check. I can't spear Sammy like I'd like to with this French fry. You can't do any of that now. It's like I tell announcers, please do not say someone went to the dirty area. Don't ever use that, Sam. There is no dirty area. There's no dirty area in hockey. The front of the net is safe. It's like, they want these safe spaces. They're pushing and shoving. But we're in Philly,
after the whistle.
Broad Street Bullies. Well, you can't do anything. Like, you can't even in front of the net. I mean, when the Flyers cross-checking, and you loved if it ricocheted off the shoulder up into the opponent's face and he lost it. It was... I mean, it was a law of a jungle that unless you played it, you can't believe what we did for such limited amount of money. Nobody was making any money.
Wow.
But the fans, we'd fill the building and they would just come and rock it. It was, I mean, it was fun, but
the fans sure got their money's worth. The fans sure got their money's worth. Yeah.
They'd partake in the fighting. So they were part of the game. Remember in Philly, there was a big brawl here in Philly with St. Louis, and they threw beer on Al Arbor, and the Plager brothers went up into the Spectrum, and it's a famous fight. And then the Rangers and the Bruins in Madison.
The Bruins, yes.
That was a big one.
So anyway, there was a lot of that.
Chico, we got a question from the YouTube Live. Getty27 asks, does Chico think we have a goaltending issue, or is just the D that horrible, or doesn't matter who's in net?
We got a good issue with the goaltender because Mackenzie Blackwood is going to be an elite goalie. He's had some COVID, he's had some glitches, but if riding down here with Matt Lockley, we were just talking. We're set and goal. We got a group of forwards that really are good, Sam. I know we're talking young and they're developing, but to make both ends work, you can't have a donut in the middle. You got to have a defensive core. Ty Smith's going to be that, but I would say the challenge for Tommy Fitzgerald, the general manager, is trying to shore up that defense because they're all trying, but as we know in sports, there are some players with more of a skill, a God-given talent. Others try. That's why you got on a hockey team, you got number 1 defense, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have legitimate 1 through 4 defensemen, you got people playing out of position where your 5th guy's playing 3rd. It's not going to work. And so I think that's pretty general opinion. And so I would say for Tommy Fitzgerald, the challenge is going to be in how he can restructure the defense coming in for next year. And if he can do that, we can take off. And but that's a big challenge. It's not easy to get good players when there's going to be 32 teams. they all seem to want those same good guys, right?
Yep.
It's not like they're a bunch of them running around moose jaw, and you just got to go up and find them. They're not out there. So anyway, that's a challenge.
Can I ask one quick question?
Yeah,
and you talked about Mackenzie Blackwood. Just
10.
for other goaltenders around the league, what other goalies have really impressed you? Who do you really look at and you're really happy with their play and see as a big stepping stone?
Well, Hellenbach we don't see with Winnipeg, but he's legit.
Yeah.
Vasilevsky's proven he's won a cup. One of the challenges is Carter Hart here in Philly. For some reason, he's had a bad season. He hasn't played well. He got injured a little bit. I honestly believe that he had a lot of pressure on him. And Ronnie Hextall, a good friend of mine, who was the general manager, got let go. One of the things Ronnie said and fought to the end till he got fired was, I'm not bringing him up early. He's just not ready for the mental pressure. And so Carter got thrown off this year, but he would have been a guy that I thought would be elite in the New York area. The Rangers, Sturkin, they're talking about him, but he's got to, to be an elite, you got to win some postseason games, right? That's where it counts.
Absolutely.
So he's got to do that, and then then there's a bunch of others that are Binghamton for St. Louis. He won a cup. So there's a lot of good goalies, but just like skaters, how many? Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, Vetchkin. How many are there? There's 20, maybe 20 elite guys.
Yeah, and Draisaitl.
And Draisaitl, at the most. So same thing with goalies. If there's 5 elite goalies and you got one of them, you're in a good situation. And I think the Devils do have one.
It's good.
Yeah.
So, but he needs a backup. He needs to understand the importance of what he's doing. He's got to understand you just can't be a good goalie. You got to carry the team. Kim Perrant
like
is
Marty
here,
did.
and that's Bernie Perrant's daughter, and she's just sitting over here, and she's just watching. And and Bernie was that way. Goalies that carry teams get a sense that they're bigger than just the team themselves. They're representing the league of goalies. They're representing all the goalies, and so they get a sense that I have to carry more than just a team. You do. But every game, it's not just I got to play well. No, I got to carry the team. And, the great skaters and defensemen, like Scott Stevens was the same way with the Devils. He knew that he had to carry the team in the defensive side of things, and he did that. So, we're pretty good there. And our forward situation's good. Trying to think if there's anybody. Gilles Sen, he's a goalie in the minor leagues. Lindy Ruff said he will probably get a chance before the end of the season. I'm anxious to see him. Today, Kokanen's back in. He was injured for a game, and I'm just trying to think if there's anybody else.
Nico?
No, that's about it. Yes.
Nico?
Yes?
Nico Heischer?
Oh, Nico's back. No, he's been back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, Nico's been back. Yeah, he's been back, 3 games, I think? 3-4 games. And then Holtz, the Alexander Holtz, their first-round pick, played his first game last night in Binghamton, and he's got a big shot. And that's what, like Jack Hughes, he's got Kokanen. And now Nico Heischer needs a shooter, somebody that he can feed and rip it. And Holtz won't get a chance this year because they only signed him to a minor league team. They didn't want to burn up 1 year of his NHL contract. Mm-hmm. So we won't see him till next fall. But the reports from last night's game was he's as advertised, shoots the puck, gets open, and scoots around real well. So, again, up forwards, we're sitting pretty. Goal, we're sitting pretty. We do probably, I think they're going to probably be looking for a backup. I don't know. I feel bad for the 2 goalies that were vying for that this year, Wedgwood and Dell. They've had a rough couple outings, so I don't know what that leaves them. But, no, a lot of pieces are in the puzzle, but to complete that picture of a puzzle, it is hard to get those last ones, and that's the challenge of Tommy Fitzgerald and his crew, really.
Yeah. Well, Chico,
Lou Lamoriello.
You have to get to the game.
No, I got to eat some more fries.
Oh, some more crab? Yeah, have some more crab fries.
You can take them with them. The press box.
No, thank you.
Thank you for coming out here for our little pregame podcast. But we'll be back tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern for our Sunday edition of the Let's Go Devils podcast. Thank you, Durango Steve and Molnar Roofing. Thank you, Chico. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Hockey on Tap. Guys making the trip for support. Till next time, let's go Devils.
Let's go Devils.